If you're young, you do all sorts of things that you might not do 10 years later. Helmut I met when I was 14 and he was 15 at a dancing school. Mother got this, I'll never forget it, dress, which was French, had long sleeves and was short to the knee. I must have looked very nice in it. I wasn't sure how I looked at all. I was very unsure of myself. He was a very good dancer, and I liked to dance very much. And we danced all night long until one very pretty girl came up to him and said, "If you don't stop dancing with this girl, I will never kiss you again." I was thrilled to see that he continued to dance with me. But we danced the entire evening. Helmut was very good looking, which made me very suspicious of him. And he declared that he fell in love with me then, but I didn't know what that was, and I didn't take it seriously. We then did not see each other again for years. I was 13 when Hitler took office. Within 3 months, Hitler seized control of the government, consolidated absolute power, established a totalitarian and fascist dictatorship, though I wasn't sure what that meant. The first change that I noticed happened at school. My classroom teacher handed out a stack of envelopes and said, "Have your parents fill this out and bring it back tomorrow." It was a note that instructed my parents to let the school know if I was Aryan or Jewish. Being 5'10", having the blonde hair and looking like the prototype of Hitler's Germanic vision. I did not think that there was anything Jewish about me at that time. At dinner, I handed my parents the envelope, and they grew silent. My father explained it to me. My mother's parents had been Jewish, but then had converted to Christianity. My immediate response was, "So what's the big deal?" According to the Nuremberg race laws, my mother was Jewish, and therefore I was a half-Jew. That meant I could not marry or go to university. It made me very angry because everything was made impossible for me. You know, the two things that girls of that age think about, at least in my generation, was to either get married or go to college. And I couldn't do either. My story is really not a Holocaust story because my father was not Jewish. Yet Hitler labeled me, and I was determined to do whatever I could to get back at him. The high school teachers were very good teachers, but in the Nazi side we got this terrible man. He was a top SS Nazi. One day, when I didn't do my homework, the SS-man pulled me aside. He said, as of tomorrow, you will come to my office for a week and you will stand in front of my door and raise your arm in the Hitler salute for half an hour. My father was furious. He called up a doctor friend and we wrapped my right arm in a cast. I arrived the next day in a sling and said, sorry, it seems I can't raise my arm. Would you like me to salute with my left arm? The SS-man was furious, but there was nothing he could do. I was very naughty and powerful and stupid. My parents suggested that I get out of the country so that I could perhaps go to university or do something out there as long as they could still give me money. I was 18, going on 19 when I left. My mother called. I could hear fear in her voice. She was choking up and she told me not to come home to Berlin, that Auntie is crazy. She's impossible to live with, and that we don't know what to do with Auntie. Telephones were already tapped, and we always spoke in code. In our family, Auntie was our code name for Hitler. It was 1939, September, and it was then that the war began.